Well, not ideal, the start in Bahrain, but some promising signs, I'd say. Buongiorno. Mr. Chairman of the Board, to what do I owe this honour? You'd like to come to the Saudi Grand Prix? Mate, I cannot stop you. Oh, you want to be in the garage. And you don't want to be disappointed. Mate, yeah, no, I'm sure Mick and Gio will be spectacular. Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to our all-Italian Ferrari plus Mick Schumacher, and today it is the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Now, last time out in Bahrain, it was a solid enough start. Mick got 6th. I think we were on for even better than that. Giovinazzi, though, of course, had his crash with Perez, which took him essentially out of the race. We ended up having to retire the car, and a red flag sort of screwed us over a little bit in terms of our strategy as well. We ended up getting stuck behind the Hasses and Norris and all those guys that were not really at our pace, and I think it just really took us a little ways off where we should have been. Pit stop times as well. We'll deal with that later. I think that's the least of our concerns, to be honest. But a lot to catch you up on to happen in 2 weeks. The first thing is that this race, where are we here, is going to be attended by the board. There it is there. So if we have a good result, it's going to be good for me. If we have a bad result, it might hasten the firing that comes our way. So we really do need to do well here. Now, other things that have happened, the weather center there, we can see it's been upgraded. Now, this is the one thing I do want to spend money to upgrade, because it does affect the decisions we make in a race. So we'll go up to the next level there, and that will be done sooner rather than later, hopefully. And the only other thing to catch you up on is our side pods have been, the new ones have been designed. Now, unfortunately, we are currently we had to manufacture to get some spares in. If we go and have a look at the warehouse here, we've just done another chassis, so we've got 4 of those, but we had to do front wings, so we've got 8 of those now kicking around. We just want to make sure we're not going to run short. You can see those side pods. We have none of the new ones. We have 4 of these ones, of the current ones. So, and we're manufacturing, I think, to get up to 5 of those, just to be, for safe in case of accidents. Underfloors and suspension is another one. We've got the old one, and then we're manufacturing some of the new one as well. That was sort of pre-done already for us when we got here. So, yeah, we're just a little bit thin on spare parts, which is why we've had to manufacture those, and that's why the new parts can't quite get done as of yet. But that shouldn't be too far away. And what we also need to do now is we have some space to design new parts, and we've doing an underfloor. We've done the side pods. I think the next thing is a front wing, isn't it? So we'll look to do that, and we're only going to be able to do one right now until the underfloor is done. At which point we might look to do probably a rear wing. If you have any particular thoughts on that, let me know what you think. If you look at the rank on the grid, this will help move us up on that front. Engine cooling is perhaps still the issue, but I mean, it's not that bad, is it? It's not that bad, so I don't think we need to worry about it too much. Let's go intense, try and get as much knowledge going in the team as we can, and that'll be with us in 33 days, and then we'll be able to go and build it. So yeah, that is the only thing really that we've had to catch you up on. Now, the drivers as well, we did see some improvements. To Mick, he is now 77, and Gabriella Mini is now 62 rated, so that's good news. But we need to go and see what we can do in terms of race performances here. Now, Jeddah is a crazy track, isn't it? It is just high speed craziness for qualifying purposes. Where are we here? I can't see the stuff official. So red is sector 1, blue sector 2, yellow sector 3. We can see that there's a couple of traction zones, but for the most part it is just fast and flowing. So top speed and acceleration, medium and high speed corners is what we want. And time considerations there, green flag stop is only 19 seconds. The safety car is a little bit less than that. Expected strategies, it is a one-stop compound performance here. Now the soft tyre is quite a bit quicker than the hard, but it degrades not too badly actually. So maybe a soft medium might be the way to go if we can make that work. Historically, Verstappen and Hamilton have won the races here, and we don't need to worry about anything else there right now. So our performance targets reach Q3. We should be able to do that. Therefore, someone in the top 4. Let's go for it. Let's be bold. We should be reaching Q2. That is got to be a given, doesn't it, at Ferrari, no matter what stage we're at. A finishing position of 4th and the fastest lap. I don't want to guarantee that, I don't think, because that could be race strategy dependent. We are 2 in the top 6 of qualifying away and 1 in the top 6 of the race away from getting a little bit of money, so that's all very nice. And that being said, now we can head off to Jeddah. So there we go. Rain is always going to be unlikely in Saudi Arabia, isn't it? So we do have a dry weekend. I'll do some free practice and I will see you momentarily for some qualifying. Okay, free practice is done. Let's have a look at how we did here. Now, FP1, we were 6th and 7th. Setups weren't great at this point. In FP2, we can see we were 6th and 8th, so roughly in the same spot. Now, FP3, we nailed our setups. Both cars are 100%, which is excellent. It's a little bit 2x2. Alcon's put in a bit of a time there to get ahead of everybody, but perhaps worryingly, we look to be the 4th fastest car here, don't we? Now, we did our times earlier, and then we sort of took the end of the session off because we already had our setup, so it was just saving engines and that, which might benefit us a little bit later in the season. But yeah, we look like we are the 4th fastest team, and which is not maybe surprising given how last race went, but yeah, it is a little bit disappointing perhaps. So I'm going to go and do Q1. It shouldn't be a problem for us to get through. Let's hope that's true. So indeed, we're absolutely fine. Just did the one run, 6th and 10th for Giovinazzi, who I think got blocked a little bit by Albon on his lap. So nothing too major, but I think that is why he is like 6th. Well, no, it's only 3/10, so maybe Mick was just quicker. On to Q2. All right, so Mick Schumacher got held up on his lap. Second run we're doing here. Now, there was a red flag. Ricardo crashed out. Now, everybody went out quite early after this. So I'm a little bit concerned that we might hit some traffic here, but they're going to have to get out of our way, and so hopefully that's not going to be the case. Giovinazzi has not gone faster in the first sector, though he is essentially through. First run, as ever, when I do the first runs, is on used tyres. Mick has gone faster, so that is good news. As things stand here, though, it's looking as though, well, Giovinazzi definitely is through. Mick Schumacher is going faster, and those behind him are not. So he's looking as though he's going to go through here as well. It might be a case of just how far up the grid can we get him. Giovinazzi has stayed 4th. Mick Schumacher will go 5th. And that's all pretty good. No major casualties either. So if we could start the race 5th and 4th, I would be quite happy with that, I think. But yeah, we'll wait and see. On to Q3. Okay, now we are on our second runs here in Q3. We've not got a great position here because we've got... who's that in front of us? Is it Perez, potentially? I'm not sure. One of the Red Bulls is in front of us. I left it as late as I could to come out to try and get at the back of the field, but unfortunately, everybody else had the same idea, I think. So it's Perez that is in front of us. Now, Perez is currently 7th. Mick has dropped down to 8th. So yeah, we'll see what we can do. He's not far off Perez's time. Giovinazzi, by the way, just quietly, is done a very good lap in 3rd. And we'll see, he's not going faster as we've got a Haas that's got out of the way pretty quickly there for us. Perez is going faster, as is Mick. Giovinazzi is not. Unfortunately, we're probably just towing Perez around with Giovinazzi at this point. But Giovinazzi stays 4th. Mick stays 8th. Well, I've got to say, that surprises me. I thought Mick was on for a better lap than that. But Giovinazzi 4th. That's not bad at all, as he's got in front of Russell, Stroll, and Hamilton, and then Mick is kind of bringing up the back of that trio there. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting race. We need to try and get on the podium here, though, I think. And let's see what sort of strategy we can do to get us there. Now, a soft hard gets you there quite comfortably. I wonder... You want to be on the soft as long as possible, don't you? There's a part of me that wonders if you were to do this and then push, you could push the whole way. But you might overheat the tyres, which seems to be more of an issue in this version of the game. It says medium hard is the... But why would you not go on a soft, get onto the hard sooner, and look for an undercut? I think I prefer that strategy. If the preferred one is to do a medium, then surely you'd want to do that. Now, I'm thinking with Mick... Do we perhaps go the other way and extend out this stint a little bit, get onto a soft tyre at the end, everybody's on old hards, and see what he can do late on in the race. I mean, we should, fingers crossed, be looking at points with both cars anyway, but that might benefit him, and that way we're sort of covering ourselves off for safety cars as well, red flags potentially, doing the opposite of each other. It shouldn't disadvantage both cars like we saw in Bahrain and Singapore. Where are we? Saudi. There's got to be a decent chance of a red flag, doesn't there? Okay, welcome back. Let's see what we can do. We've got Giovinazzi and Mick sitting there. You will notice that now the update has happened. This is the first I've recorded with the update, and you will notice that Mick Schumacher now has his little MSC, isn't it, at the top there. So that is good. Tyres, Mick is the only one on a hard, and he's lost that off the line, perhaps unsurprisingly to Esteban Ocon. So he goes back to 9th. But this is a race that's going to come back to him later. And Giovinazzi, disappointing to be not able to make a move while we had the soft tyre, or the tyre advantage on our soft tyres up against Perez there. We were briefly in 3rd with him, weren't we? But wasn't able to hold on to it. As ever, we are ERSing, I should say, the first 2 laps until we get DRS, and hopefully we'll be able to sort of stay onto the back of a train here, and then once we have DRS, use that to get past. Mick Schumacher is a little ways back, certainly a little further ways back than I would have liked, and Alonso is looking a little sluggish right now, so we want to be trying to get past him, I dare say, as soon as possible here. If we go back and have a look at Mick, he just needs to hang on, if he can, hang on to the back here with, if we get DRS, he's just inside that second. That could be very, very important for him. It's almost, you go to say, a big part of his race. If he can hang on to the lead train whilst, look at Verstappen's gone 2.5 seconds clear already. Yeah, if he can hang on to him being Mick, can hang on to the back of everybody here, then that's going to go, yeah, like I say, a long way to sort of dragging him along. And it looks like he has managed to do it so far. That'll drag him along with everybody, and then he'll have, of course, the soft tyre advantage at the end. So Giovinazzi has dropped outside of DRS. This is a disaster if he does that. Let's try and push it a little bit more. Again, we need the DRS is somewhat important around here because it's a bit of a slipstreaming circuit, and if you lose the DRS, it's going to be very, very difficult to try and make up the time to get it back, I would suggest. So yeah, let's see how the race develops. Only 50 laps, but it should be a quick one. Very, very fast average speed, of course. Alright, now unfortunately, it's going a little bit the wrong way in that Stroll has been able to use DRS to get past Giovinazzi, so we're sort of 5th with him. You can see there right behind Stroll, and similar situation, K-Mag and Mick Schumacher. Yeah, we're sort of battling the cars behind rather than the car in front. So, oh, we've got a virtual safety car. Now, this was always likely to happen. Now, what has caused it is perhaps a big question. It's a little bit too early to make pit stops, so we can't be looking to do that. Alonso has crashed. Well, that's going to move everybody up a spot, isn't it? And of course, when it comes to Constructors' Championships as well, that's a big one.
Yeah.
That pretty much sums it up, Fernando. Yeah, but when it comes to Constructors' Championships, that's obviously a very good thing that Aston Martin's only going to have one car scoring points today. So, yeah, Giovinazzi back in the battle for the podium as best of the rest. Alright, now safety car, virtual safety car has ended, and Giovinazzi has found himself right up the back of Stroll. Now, Stroll looks like he's on a soft tyre as well. I think this is our race, really. The Red Bulls, if everything is, all things being equal, are not in our race today. The battle is best of the rest. Second best team, which is where we want to finish in the championship as well. So, yeah, I think we are... P3 is the best we're realistically going to get. So if we can just stick onto the back of Stroll here and, yeah, we'll try and get a move done around pit stop time. And as for Mick, he is still sort of battling away here with Kevin Magnussen. he is going to be much quicker at the end of the race, so I can't forget that. But right now, he just looks a little bit stuck, and 8th and 9th is not where we wanted the second Ferrari to be battling, is it? So, yeah, let's see. The longer this stint goes as well, as other cars' tyres wear, he should have a little bit more of an advantage as well. But Stroll is chewing through his tyres compared to Giovinazzi, so that's something that we could maybe look to utilise as well a bit later on, take advantage of perhaps. Alright, we are coming up towards the pit stop for Giovinazzi. He is currently in 3rd, though only just. I tried to do a deploy lap to get away from Stroll before the pit stops, but that didn't really work out for us. But the race here might be starting to come back to Mick, because we can see everybody's lap times 135s, 134.8 for the Mercedes, and he's doing a 134.9. Now the front 4 are still going much quicker than everybody else. But Mick Schumacher will start and eat back into the gap that's ahead of him now, and hopefully he will be able to catch and if not pass, then certainly be right behind these soft tyre runners when they come in to stop, which won't be too far away because we're approaching the stop for Giovinazzi as well. Yeah, there's a part of me that I wonder if we can just top up and look to deploy once we get to the other side of the pit stop. So anyway, we'll come back for Giovinazzi's pit stop momentarily, lap or two's time. Alright, so here we go, Giovinazzi coming in. Stroll did not follow us in, so we're going to have a chance of an undercut here. Oh, Ferrari, look at the front left here, front right. It's an 8-second stop. We've been Ferrari'd again. And there goes any chance of the undercut, and to be honest, that puts us back in range of the Mercedes, and we need to be deploying now. We've got a Williams in front of us of Albon, and that shouldn't have been there, and we've dropped all the way down to 11th, and well, we've got to try and get back within range of the Mercedes now. Mick did get a move done on Ocon, so he is up to 6th, although some of that was down to, or position of that was down to the fact that Giovinazzi has come in the pits. But yeah, that is an absolute disaster. Get out of the way, Albon. Come on, man. You're not in our race today. Here comes Stroll into the pits. I fully expect him to come out well in front of us. And, well, where is he? He has come out in front of us. How many seconds is he in front of us? 4 seconds. Alright, well, we won't deploy anymore. The Mercedes run mediums, won't they? Yeah, so they're going to be a little ways away from a pit stop yet anyway. Mick Schumacher's 134s now. He's almost the fastest, well, he's the fastest non-Red Bull on track. So, yeah, that bodes well, doesn't it, for the soft tyre, if he can just take advantage of this now. He's catching the 2 Mercedes, and yeah, I mean, he may find himself in for a podium here yet as well. Alright, so Mick Schumacher, absolutely flying, has caught the Mercedes now as their medium tyres go up. Can he get a double overtake done? No, but he gets past George Russell, or does he? Let's go deploy. Let's get past these boys and get on with our race here, Mick. Yeah, I mean, they're going to go onto a hard tyre shortly, you would think. I mean, we are at half race distance now. Giovinazzi's doing 133s, so he's doing decent lap times. Stroll, though, is a little bit quicker right now. So it looks as though pretty much both our cars, we've got a yellow flag. Is Giovinazzi okay? He is.
There's a yellow flag.
Ricciardo has crashed, so that doesn't really affect our race. But can we go and get past Lewis Hamilton here? He goes into the pits, so we can. We'll just go neutral. And, yeah, fastest lap of the race there for Lance Stroll, who is probably catching Mick pretty quickly at this point. Where's the intervals? Yeah, so he's not that far behind. Yeah, well, it's not working out for Giovinazzi. It might work out for Mick, though. He's got to make his pit stop yet, of course, so it could all go wrong for him there, couldn't it? Alright, now we have Mick Schumacher coming in for his stop. I'm hoping he's going to come out ahead of Esteban Ocon, but, well, we'll see. Can we do a proper pit stop? This time, 3.6 is still not great, is it? I don't think we're getting any DHL points. Another pit stop issue. So 0 for 2 Ferrari today in fine form. So he's come out in 8th. He's come out in 8th. He's come out 2 seconds behind Hamilton, who is just behind Russell, and who is just behind Ocon, who isn't that far behind Giovinazzi, to be honest. So let's see what he can do on his soft tyre here. Could we see Mick Schumacher getting himself up onto the podium? We'll push Giovinazzi on his tyres to the end now. He should have enough tyre life to be able to do that. And what's the gap to Stroll? 11 seconds. Unlikely he's going to do that, but what can Mick Schumacher do? I wonder if he could set fastest lap, actually. I probably should have been... yeah, probably should have been harvesting him to try and have a go at the fastest lap here, but he might get it anyway, you know. Soft tyre late in the race. It's not like we've got a terrible car, but the Red Bulls are pretty quick. So that didn't take long. We've already got him right up behind the 2 Mercedes here, and Ocon as well. I wonder if we just look to harvest, because we're going to be in a bit of a DRS train here, but he's going almost a second and a half to 2 seconds faster than these guys. So yeah, if we harvest for a lap or two, then we should be able to have a proper go at getting past them all. What sort of tyres are these guys on? So soft, medium and soft, but we do have quite an advantage of our soft tyres over the 2 Mercedes. So yeah, DRS is going to keep us in the game. And we'll charge up this battery. We might even have a sneaky go. Not quite. But yeah, 4th and 5th would be a decent return. Considering we had bad pit stops as well. Giovinazzi is currently 9 seconds behind. Now his pit stop was 4 seconds slower or so, approximately. So he could have, it's what could have been for him. Mick, on the other hand, I mean, he would have come out roughly where he did anyway, just a second or two up the road, perhaps. But a 130.6 for Verstappen, who isn't winning this race either. So, yeah, that's something. Can we get if we could get a harvest overtake on Hamilton, that would be something, wouldn't it? So we should, after this, be able to go off of harvest, and then we'll look to deploy. This first corner should get us more or less up to where we want to be. And then next DRS zone, I think there's another charge point at this hairpin at the end of this little section, isn't there? So we'll try and top it up a little bit more here. Tyres are overheating for Giovinazzi. Alright, we'll back off a little bit and cool them down. And I think we can go onto neutral, and then we might even... Let's go deploy. Let's try and get these moves done. We saw... Didn't we? On harvest, we were getting right up almost to the point where we could have a lunge at Hamilton. This time we look down the outside. It's not really where we want to be, but we've got one there as we deploy. Can we go and get Esteban Ocon as well? That's maybe being a little bit ambitious, but we'll stick with the deploy. We've got Mick up to 7th now. Still 11, 12 laps to go, so plenty of time. What we don't need is for Russell to get away from Ocon here. Ideally, we'd like to be able to just pick up the DRS off of Russell, although it's got to be said, overtaking Ocon without DRS would be a lot simpler. Here we go, we've now got DRS. We really need to get the move done down this straight, if we can. It's not quite going to happen for us, is it? We'll have another go. We'll have another go. Surely this is going to be the one. We've run out of our battery power. Ocon's having a go at Russell. And we might need to just go back on to top up and see what becomes of this. Ocon on the older tyres, the medium tyres, and that's a really good move from Mick Schumacher to get something done through that section. It's not quite done yet, but it shouldn't be too far away. And then if we can get George Russell as well. Now the problem, of course, is are we just going to get DRS back past? But if that's the case, it's just a matter of, oh, there's a move. Mick Schumacher carving his way through. So we will go off now onto neutral. Now, is that a double DRS detection? It doesn't look like it is, so I suspect we might see George Russell coming back past us here. No. Okay, well, let's hope that Mick can hang on here now. He's pulled out almost to a second. He has now pulled out a second, so we don't have DRS for George Russell. What he will still have, of course, is a slipstream. But such is the rate that we're pulling away. It's a second and a half to almost 2 seconds now, so it's done. It's done. Well done, Mick. Can he run down Giovinazzi? And if he can, I mean, do we let him pass? He's not going to catch, I would not have thought, Lance Stroll. What are we looking at here for lap times? 32s, although we were stuck in traffic that lap. This lap is a 31. Tell you what, he is quite a bit quicker. Let's see how quickly he catches Giovinazzi, and we'll make a decision when he gets there. Alright, well, we have just got to the back of, or into DRS of Giovinazzi. Now, I've made the decision. We're just going to hold position here. The reason for that is Giovinazzi got absolutely stuffed, didn't he, by the pit stop. He should have been that much further up the road again. We're not going to catch Stroll. The difference in lap time, yes, it's about a second a lap. For both of them, to be fair, at this point, because we're pushing Giovinazzi on again. Now that his tyre temps have come back under control, that they're likely to go up again here in a second. But anyway, we're not going to catch him, and I just feel the pit stop is why Mick is as close as he is to Giovinazzi. So we'll hold position, and we should, therefore, be able to come home 4th and 5th. It'll make us the second highest point-scoring team on the day, and everybody should be happy with that. So, yeah. I wonder, actually, if we harvest... I wonder if we can have a go for fastest lap on the last lap. Alright, we are about to start the last lap. I have, in the end, moved Giovinazzi out of the way. I was trying my very best to give Mick Schumacher some space to do his fastest lap. What I wanted, ideally, was to do behind Giovinazzi and get the DRS to help him. But Giovinazzi was just too slow. So we've got everything on, we're going for it, and let's see if there's enough life in these tyres. We've done a purple first sector. If there's enough life in these tyres to go and nick Verstappen's fastest lap on the last lap, and nick ourselves an extra point in the process. Come on, Mickey boy. Come on. He's absolutely flying. He's done purple. Verstappen wins. We've got Perez in second. Stroll will come across momentarily for third. And we should be about to see Mick Schumacher come fourth in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix and take fastest lap on the final lap. He has done it. And Giovinazzi, a very, very creditable 5th place for him as well. Good day that for Ferrari. It does make a little bit of sense to get Schumacher ahead anyway, because he is our lead driver in the championship as well. But yeah, a good day for Ferrari, despite the pit stop woes. Mick Schumacher is now 4th in the drivers, and Gio is off the mark. He moves up to 8th, which is good. And in the constructors, we are now, where are we? We're still 4th, but we've definitely closed that gap down, haven't we? We're back in the conversation for 2nd now, which is obviously where we need to be. And pit stops, I'm going to say we don't have to worry about that this one. In fact, we were probably the slowest, were we not? 6 seconds off and 1.2 seconds off. Yeah, pit stops are not our friends, are they? But here we go. This is how the weekend played out for everybody. And the reserve driver, I've got to remember to put him in for FP1s, don't I? But there we go. Finances are like that. Did we get any improvement from the drivers? No, we did not. So next up, it is my home race. It is the Australian Grand Prix in Melbourne. I'll see you for that one. We might even, we've got, 11 days. We might even get some new side pods on the car for that one. Maybe not. It might be a bit of a close turnaround. But anyway, if you've enjoyed that, thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you next time in Melbourne. Take care.